At my party, my sister shouted about her pregnancy right as I announced my promotion. Pregnancy is more important than some stupid job. It's my party now, she said. My parents nodded. I played the video I shot a few days ago. I'm Kelly. I'm 26. And 2 weeks ago, I got the promotion I've been killing myself for. Not just any promotion either. This was the promotion at Morrison and Associates, where they basically throw you into a shark tank and watch you fight for scraps. I work in marketing strategy, and let me tell you, it's brutal. Everyone there is smart. Everyone there is hungry, and everyone there wants to climb that ladder. I've been at Morrison for 3 years now. Started as a junior analyst making coffee and copying reports. But I had a plan, you know? I worked late every single night. I took on projects nobody else wanted. I smiled when my boss Karen dumped her weekend work on my desk Friday at 5 p.m. I bit my tongue when my colleague Marcus took credit for my campaign ideas and meetings. I played the game. And it paid off. 2 weeks ago, Karen called me into her office and said those magic words, "Kelly, we're promoting you to senior marketing strategist." I literally had to grip the arms of my chair to keep from jumping up and screaming. This wasn't just a title change, it was a 40% salary bump, my own office, and finally, some respect in that place. The thing is, I beat out some seriously good people for this position. There was Janet, who's been there 5 years and has an MBA from Wharton. There was David, who brought in 3 major clients last year. And there was this guy Tom who everyone thought was a shoo-in because he plays golf with the CEO. But I got it. Little Kelly who grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment and worked 3 jobs to get through college. When I walked out of Karen's office that day, I felt like I was floating. For the first time in my life, I'd won something big, really big, and I deserved it. But here's where my family comes in, and trust me, it gets complicated fast. I have parents, mom and dad, who live about 20 minutes away in the same house I grew up in. Then there's my sister, Emma. She's 28, so 2 years older than me, and she's always been the golden child, always. Emma got married last year to this guy Ryan, and mom and dad act like she hung the moon just for landing a husband. So when I got this promotion, I decided I was going to celebrate properly. Not just drinks with friends or a nice dinner. I was going to throw a real party. I booked 3 tables at Rossini's, this fancy Italian place downtown that costs about $200 a person. I invited everyone who mattered to me, Mom, Dad, Emma and Ryan, my grandmother Nana, my aunts and uncles, my cousins Sarah and Mike, and my closest friends from college and work. About 20 people total. I was so excited planning this thing. I went shopping and bought this gorgeous black dress that cost more than I usually spend on clothes in 6 months. I made an appointment at this upscale salon for hair and makeup. I even had custom invitations printed that said celebrating Kelly's promotion to senior marketing strategist in gold lettering. My friends were genuinely happy for me. Jess and Amanda and Claire had been cheering me on through all the late nights and work stress. My work friend Marcus even seemed impressed when I told him about the party, which felt good since he usually acts like I'm invisible. And my family, well, I hoped they'd finally see that their younger daughter had made something of herself. 3 days before the party, I was at home going over the final details when my phone rang. It was Jess. "Hey girl, what's up?" I answered, expecting her to ask about the dress code or something. "Kelly," she said, and her voice sounded weird, kind of tense. "I need to tell you something, and I don't know how to say this. I was at that little coffee place on 5th Street today, you know the one with the blue awning? And I saw Emma there. She wasn't alone, Kelly. She was with a guy, and it definitely wasn't Ryan." I felt this cold sensation creep up my spine. "What do you mean? Maybe it was just a work thing or something. She probably had a meeting with someone from the dental office." "Kelly, no. They were kissing, like, really kissing. And I recognized the guy. It's that ex-boyfriend of hers. What's his name? Jake? The one she dated before Ryan?" The phone almost slipped out of my hand. Jake Morrison. No relation to my company. Different Morrison. Emma had dated him for 2 years before they had this massive blowout fight about 3 years ago. She'd sworn up and down that he was a cheating scumbag and she never wanted to see him again. That's actually how she met Ryan. She was on the rebound from Jake. "Are you sure?" I whispered. "I'm positive, Kelly. I'm so sorry. I took a video because I thought you should know. I'm sending it to you now." My phone buzzed with a message from Jess. With shaking hands, I opened the video file. There they were, Emma and Jake, sitting at a corner table in the coffee shop. Emma's blonde hair was unmistakable, and Jake still had that same stupid beard he'd always worn. As I watched, he leaned across the table and kissed her, not some quick peck either. This was the kind of kiss you give someone you're sleeping with. I felt sick to my stomach. Emma was married. She'd been married for exactly 1 year and 2 months. She and Ryan had this big beautiful wedding that Mom and Dad spent months planning and probably went into debt for. And now she was cheating on him with her ex-boyfriend? After I hung up with Jess, I sat on my couch staring at that video for probably an hour. Part of me wanted to call Emma right away and confront her. Part of me wanted to call Ryan and tell him what I'd seen. But another part of me, the part that had learned to keep my head down and avoid family drama, just wanted to pretend I'd never seen it. I decided to do nothing. This was Emma's mess, not mine. In 3 days, I was having the most important party of my life, and I wasn't going to let my sister's bad choices ruin it for me. The next morning, I made coffee and tried to focus on work stuff. Only 2 days left until my party, and I still had some final details to handle. The restaurant had confirmed everything, the cake was ordered, and I'd even bought a little speech card to help me remember what I wanted to say when I stood up to thank everyone for coming. Around noon, my phone rang. Mom. Kelly, honey, I need you to come over tonight. We need to have a family discussion. My stomach clenched. About what? Just come over around 7, okay? Emma will be here too. She hung up before I could ask any more questions. I spent the rest of the day distracted at work, wondering what this was about. At 7 sharp, I pulled into my parents' driveway. Emma's car was already there. I took a deep breath and walked inside. Kelly, Mom called from the living room. Come sit down, sweetheart. Emma was sitting on the couch looking nervous. Her face was kind of pale, and she kept fidgeting with her wedding ring. Dad was in his usual recliner, and Mom patted the spot next to Emma on the couch. What's going on? I asked, sitting down but keeping some distance. Emma looked at Mom, then at Dad, then back at me. I have some news, she said quietly. Oh, God. Here it comes. She's going to confess about Jake. I'm pregnant, Emma blurted out. I blinked. That was not what I expected. You're what? Pregnant. I just found out yesterday. I'm about 6 weeks along. For a second, I forgot all about the video on my phone. My sister was having a baby. That's great, Emma, congratulations. And I meant it. Despite everything, the idea of being an aunt made me happy. Thank you, Emma said, but she still looked worried about something. Mom cleared her throat. Kelly, we asked you here because we've been talking, and we think it would be nice if you shared your party with Emma. What do you mean, shared? Dad leaned forward. Well, you've already got everything planned and paid for. It would be perfect to celebrate both your promotion and Emma's pregnancy at the same time. Emma jumped in, and it would save me money on throwing my own party. I mean, you don't mind, right? I stared at them. They were all looking at me like this was the most reasonable thing in the world. Like of course I'd want to turn my promotion celebration into a pregnancy announcement party. Actually, I do mind, I said slowly. This is my party. I planned it, I paid for it, I invited everyone. It's supposed to celebrate my promotion. Mom's face got that look she always gets when I don't immediately agree with whatever Emma wants. Kelly, don't be selfish, this is about family. Emma started crying, actual tears rolling down her face. I can't believe you won't do this for me, Kelly. I'm pregnant. This is the most important thing that's ever happened to me. And my promotion isn't important? Dad shook his head. Kelly, you're being unreasonable. Emma's carrying our first grandchild. That's when something inside me snapped. All those years of being second place came flooding back. You know what? I said, my voice getting louder. This is exactly what you always do. Everything is always about Emma. When's my birthday, Mom? She looked confused. December 20th, right. You combine it with Christmas every single year. Every year, you say we'll do something special for my birthday, and every year it gets rolled into Christmas dinner. Emma's birthday is in March, and she gets a whole weekend celebration. But me? I get a birthday cake on Christmas Day if I'm lucky. Emma wiped her eyes. That's different, Kelly. Is it? Remember when I made honor roll senior year? You guys took Emma out for dinner that same night because she got a date to prom. Remember when I got into college? Emma had a cold, so we stayed home to take care of her instead of celebrating. Mom stood up too. You're being dramatic, Kelly. We've always supported you, no. You've always supported Emma. And now you want me to give her my promotion party too. Dad's face was getting red. Young lady, you need to check your attitude. Your sister is pregnant, and family comes first. Family comes first, I laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. Where was that when Emma was in high school and got suspended for cheating, but you still let her go on that spring break trip? Where was that when she crashed your car junior year and you bought her a new one? Where was family when I worked 3 jobs to pay for college while you guys paid for Emma's wedding? Emma was crying harder now. Kelly, please, I need this party. Ryan and I want to announce the pregnancy to everyone. The mention of Ryan made my stomach twist. I thought about that video on my phone. Here Emma was pregnant and asking for my party while she was cheating on her husband with her ex-boyfriend. The hypocrisy made me feel sick. You know what? No. I'm not sharing my party. For once in my life, I did something worth celebrating, and I'm not giving it up. Mom gasped, Kelly Marie, I cannot believe you're being this selfish. I'm tired of hearing that word, I said, grabbing my purse. I'm having my promotion party in 2 days, and it's going to be exactly what I planned. If you don't like it, don't come. I walked out and slammed the door. Driving home, I was shaking with anger and adrenaline. Part of me felt guilty for making Emma cry, but a bigger part of me felt free. For the first time in my life, I'd stood up to them. I'd said no to letting Emma take something that was mine. When I got home, I sat on my couch and looked at my phone. I thought about calling them back, about apologizing and agreeing to share the party. That's what the old Kelly would have done. But the new Kelly, the one who just earned a promotion by fighting for herself, wasn't going to back down. If they didn't come to my party, fine. I'd celebrate with the people who actually cared about my success. And if they did come, they'd better be ready to celebrate my promotion, not Emma's pregnancy. The day of my party finally arrived. I got my hair done and put on my black dress. When I looked in the mirror, I felt ready for my big night. I arrived at Rosani's early and everything looked perfect. The 3 tables, white tablecloths, wine glasses, exactly what I'd planned. My guests started arriving on time. Jess, Amanda, Claire, my work friends, cousins, aunts and uncles. Everyone was mingling and having a good time, asking about my promotion. But my parents and Emma and Ryan were running late. At 7:25, they finally walked in. Mom and Dad looked uncomfortable. Emma was in a blue dress, and Ryan had his hand on her back looking happy. Thanks for coming, I said when they greeted me briefly. We all sat down at our assigned tables. I'd put my family at the main table with me, along with Jess and Amanda. Everyone else was spread out at the other 2 tables, but close enough that we could all hear each other. The first course arrived, this amazing Caesar salad that Rossini's was famous for. Everyone was eating and chatting, and for a few minutes, I let myself relax. Maybe this would be okay. Maybe we could all just get through dinner without any drama. After the salads, I stood up with my note card. This was my moment. Everyone, thank you for being here tonight. I wanted to celebrate something really special. 2 weeks ago, I got promoted to senior marketing strategist at Morrison and Associates, and wait, Emma jumped up, before you say anything else, I have much bigger news. Ryan and I are having a baby. I'm pregnant. The whole section erupted. People started clapping and cheering. My aunts and uncles were gasping with excitement. Nana started crying happy tears. Everyone was getting up to hug Emma and Ryan, congratulating them, asking when she was due. I stood there holding my stupid note card, watching my party get stolen. Emma turned to me with a smug smile. Kelly, since this is your party, I think you should give it to me now. A baby is way more important than a job promotion, right? Mom and Dad nodded. Emma's right, Dad said. This is much bigger news. Some relatives agreed, but my friends looked shocked and angry. This is wrong, I said. What's wrong is you being selfish, Emma shot back. I'm pregnant, Kelly. This is the most important thing ever. It's my party. And now it's mine, right, Mom? Mom nodded. Maybe you could share the spotlight tonight. No, Emma. I want you and Ryan and Mom and Dad to leave now. Emma's face went red. You can't kick me out. I'm pregnant. This is my party that I paid for. Pregnancy is more important than some stupid job, Emma shouted. Dad stood up. Kelly, let your sister have her moment. Emma turned to Mom and Dad with tears. Make her leave. I want to celebrate my pregnancy and she's ruining it. Mom looked at me with disappointment. Kelly, I think you should go. You're being very immature. That broke something inside me. They wanted me to leave my own party so Emma could have it. You know what? I said, pulling out my phone. Before I go anywhere, I want to show everyone a video to congratulate Emma on her wonderful news. I opened the video Jess had sent me and held up my phone. This is from 3 days ago. Here's Emma celebrating. I hit play. The video showed Emma and Jake kissing passionately in the coffee shop. The whole restaurant went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Emma turned pale as a ghost. Mom and Dad's faces went bright red. Ryan froze completely, staring at the screen like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. When the video ended, Ryan slowly turned to Emma. What the hell is this? His voice was shaking. Emma started screaming, it's an old video, that's not recent. 3 years ago you had dark hair, Emma, I said calmly, now you're blonde. You edited this video, Emma shrieked. You made this up. That's when Jess stood up from her chair. I took that video 3 days ago, she said loudly so everyone could hear. I can confirm it's completely real and unedited. Emma looked panicked. You're lying. I even remember the car you left in, Jess continued. Your white Honda Civic, license plate starts with 7G4. Emma's mouth fell open. That was definitely her car. Ryan's face went from shock to pure rage. You're a nasty liar, he yelled at Emma. We're done. We're completely done. He stormed toward the restaurant exit. Emma burst into tears and ran after him. Ryan, wait. Please, let me explain. She sobbed, chasing him out the door. Mom and Dad stood up, their faces furious. Kelly, this is all your fault, Mom hissed. You've destroyed your sister's marriage. You're a vindictive, jealous little girl, Dad added. They hurried out after Emma, leaving the rest of us sitting in stunned silence. For about 10 seconds, nobody said anything. Then Nana's voice cut through the quiet. Well, she said loudly, this is the most unusual party I've ever been to. Everyone started laughing nervously, the tension broke. I looked around at my remaining guests, my friends, my cousins, my aunts and uncles who hadn't followed my parents out. So, I said, raising my wine glass, anyone want to hear about my promotion? More laughter, people picked up their glasses. To Kelly, Jess shouted, the newest senior marketing strategist at Morrison and Associates. To Kelly, everyone echoed. The party went on for another 3 hours after my family stormed out. Honestly, it was better without them. My friends kept buying rounds of drinks, my cousins were telling embarrassing stories about Emma from when we were kids, and everyone wanted to hear about my new job responsibilities. For the first time in years, I was the center of attention for something good I'd accomplished. When we finally called it a night around 11, I felt this weird mix of emotions. Happy because I'd had an amazing celebration. Exhausted from all the drama. And honestly, a little bit proud of myself for finally standing up to my family's bullshit. I took an Uber home since I'd had too much wine to drive. The whole ride, my phone kept buzzing with notifications. Text messages, missed calls, voicemails. I ignored them all. Whatever my family wanted to say to me could wait until I wasn't drunk and emotionally drained. When I got home, I kicked off my heels and looked at my phone. 12 missed calls from Mom. 8 from Dad. 15 from Emma. A bunch of text messages that I could see the previews for without opening them. Mom, Kelly, call me right now. We need to talk about what you did. Dad, your behavior tonight was unacceptable. Family doesn't air dirty laundry in public. Emma, you're a monster, Kelly. I hope you're happy. You've ruined my life. Emma, I never want to see you again. You're dead to me. Emma, how could you humiliate me like that? In front of everyone? I turned my phone off and went to bed. Let them stew in their anger for one night. I was too tired to deal with their guilt trips. The next morning, I woke up with a mild hangover and about 50 more messages. I made coffee and finally started reading through them. More of the same from my parents and Emma. I was vindictive, jealous, cruel, a terrible sister and daughter. They kept saying I'd done this on purpose because I was jealous of Emma's pregnancy. That I'd planned this whole thing to hurt her. The thing is, they weren't entirely wrong. When Emma tried to steal my party, when she demanded I give up my celebration for her pregnancy announcement, something inside me snapped. Did I show that video to hurt her? Yeah, probably. But she'd hurt me first by trying to take away the one night that was supposed to be mine. I didn't call any of them back that day. Or the next day, or the day after that. Work kept me busy. My new position came with a steep learning curve, and I threw myself into it. It was easier to focus on quarterly projections and client presentations than deal with my family's drama. A month after the party, Nana called me. She was the only family member who'd stayed for my entire celebration, and she'd made it clear she thought Emma got what she deserved. Kelly, honey, I have some news, she said. Ryan requested a DNA test for the baby. My stomach dropped, and? The baby isn't his. Emma had to admit she's been seeing Jake again for months. Ryan's filing for divorce. I sat down hard on my couch. Even though I'd suspected this might happen, hearing it confirmed felt surreal. How's Emma handling it? Not well. She's moved back in with your parents. Ryan kicked her out of the house. Technically, it was his house before they got married, so she doesn't get to keep it. She's not getting much of anything in the divorce and she was the one cheating. And Mom and Dad? Still blaming you for everything. They're saying if you hadn't shown that video, Emma and Ryan could have worked things out. I almost laughed. Work things out? She was pregnant with another man's baby. I know, sweetheart. I'm on your side here. Emma made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. Over the next few months, I heard updates through Nana and my cousins who still talk to me. Emma and Ryan's divorce was finalized quickly since there weren't any assets to split and Ryan wanted nothing to do with her. Emma had to move back into my parents' cramped two-bedroom house, sleeping in her old childhood room. She'd gone back to Jake, but according to the family gossip, he wasn't exactly rushing to marry her or even move in together. He was letting her stay at his place sometimes, but he still had his own apartment and was keeping his options open. Nana said Emma was probably hoping he'd propose once the baby was born, but knowing Jake's track record, that seemed unlikely. My parents kept trying to get other family members to talk sense into me. They wanted me to apologize to Emma and fix the family. But most of my relatives sided with me once they heard the whole story. Aunts and uncles who'd been at the party were telling everyone that Emma had tried to steal my celebration and that I'd been right to expose her cheating. The only family members who still weren't speaking to me were Mom, Dad, and Emma. Everyone else, Nana, my cousins, my aunts, and uncles, understood that Emma had brought this on herself. 6 months after my party, I got a promotion at work. Not as big as the first one, but still significant. When I told Nana about it, she suggested I throw another party. "Will you invite your parents?" she asked. "Nope, and I won't invite Emma either." "Good. You've learned your lesson about letting people steal your thunder." The crazy thing is, I don't feel guilty about any of it. Emma chose to cheat on her husband. She chose to get pregnant while having an affair. She chose to try to hijack my party for her own announcement. All I did was show people who she really was. Mom and Dad can blame me all they want for destroying Emma's marriage, but Emma destroyed it herself the moment she started kissing Jake in that coffee shop. I just made sure Ryan found out before he spent the next 18 years raising another man's kid. Would I do it again? Honestly, yeah. I'm tired of being the family member who's supposed to quietly accept whatever Emma wants. I'm tired of being told I'm selfish for wanting good things for myself. I'm tired of always coming in second place to my sister's drama. These days, I have dinner with Nana every Sunday. My cousins and I hang out regularly. My friends from work and college are closer than ever. I'm building relationships with people who actually support my success instead of trying to dim my light. Emma can keep her pregnancy and her unstable relationship with Jake. I'll keep my promotion, my self-respect, and my family members who actually care about me. Turns out, sometimes you have to lose your family to find out who your real family is.